Hello and welcome to Prime Business. Coming up, as Ghana's macroeconomic indicators get worse, Real Estate Developers Association believes there's no end in sight as government policies to fail.
I hear 42 to 50% of our iron rod importation comes from where there's war now between Ukraine and Russia. And so that tells you that there's no end in sight right now if we are going to continue to depend on them.
Plus, the number of jobs advertised in selected print and online media platforms decreased marginally in June. We'll tell you why later. I am Beverly Broom. Please stay for details. Hello and welcome. Now to the details. Director of Operations at Dialects Finance, Joe Jackson, has described the current economic downturn as one of the toughest he has experienced since 1981. He was speaking on PM Express Business Edition.
The Treasury Bill, 91-day Treasury Bill, was 12.5% per annum in January. Now, it is almost 28. That's what, 2.5%, 200 and plus percent increase. What does that do to your planning? What does that do to your budgeting? What does that do to an institution who has given out fixed rate loans? And it's a turmoil. Right. So and what does that do to even the issues of raising deposits? Because the CD has now, people have lost confidence in the CD due to the depreciation we faced this year. Yeah. So people are saying, I want to move my money out into dollars. So and prices have gone up for everything. So it's a tough environment for everybody. Let no one be deceived. It's a tough environment. I think the numbers speak for itself. Inflation at 31. The CD has depreciated to what? In the forex bureaus over 9.5. What do you call it? Our foreign reserves at a historic low. Right. The downgrade of the of our sovereign debt, and you could go on and on. So I don't think there's any dispute as to how difficult these times are. I'm very glad that the Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance agreed that times are tough. These are some of the toughest times I've faced since 1981.
As Ghana's macroeconomic indicators get worse, businesses are struggling to survive as the cedi depreciates against the US dollar and inflation hits 31.7%, the highest since 2003. Now, building materials such as cement is also expected to go up by next week. Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Samuel Amegaibo, believes there's no end in sight as government policies to redeem the economy have failed.
For us, we are consumers of the product. And so whatever we can find available on the market, I'm telling you, we'll use them. It is just that we don't have adequate resources to produce the kind of input that we have. People think that it is just us who don't want to use, but in actual fact, the things are not available. And you'll be surprised to know that some of the things that are even available, if you compare them to what we get them from outside, they are even cheaper and easily accessible than those that are produced locally. A few local materials manufacturers have taken up to, for example, brick production, for example. There is an association for brick manufacturers right now who are doing excellently well, that I commend them so much for taking that market up and are doing their best to increase their numbers and their visibility across the nation. But apart from that, I don't see any effort in any other materials. Iron rod, we are heavily dependent. Cement, we are heavily dependent. Even now that we have a huge number of cement manufacturers in the country, we have over 12 plants producing cement in the country right now. The number one material that they require, which constitutes about 95%, is clinker. And clinker is imported. So irrespective of the number of factories that are in the country, the major issue is clinker importation. And so we are not getting any benefit of that, those numbers in the system right now. And in our iron rods production too, the same thing. We are heavily dependent, and surprisingly, I hear 42 to 50% of our iron rod importation comes from where there's war now between Ukraine and Russia. And so that tells you that there's no end in sight right now if we are going to continue to depend on them.
The number of jobs advertised in selected print and online media platforms, which partially gauges labor demand in the economy, decreased marginally in June relative to what was observed in the corresponding period a year ago. That's according to the data from the Bank of Ghana. Here's more in a Business Desk report. In total, 2,662 job adverts were recorded, as compared to 2,730 for the same period in 2021. This indicated a decline of 2.5% year-on-year. On a month-on-month basis, the number of job vacancies in June 2022 increased by 2.4% from the 2,599 jobs advertised in May 2022. Cumulatively, for the first 2 quarters of 2022, the total number of advertised jobs declined by 4.7% to 16,290. Meanwhile, total number of private sector SSNIT contributors, which partially gauges employment conditions, marginally improved to 864,208 in May 2022, compared with 862,166 for the same period in 2021. The University of Ghana Business School has embarked on a drive to educate staff of the university to invest in their pensions. According to the school, studies have shown that workers who solely depend on their main pension contributions are worse off after retirement. Now, speaking after a forum organized by the school, the Dean, Professor Justice Bawole, said there are many retirees suffering under the current economic conditions, hence the need for education while in active employment.
People who work and retire at 60, a lot of them actually die before age 63. So what it means is that if you want to live longer in Africa and other developing countries, you should retire early. But what will people retire to? People are happy to retire or comfortable to retire if they know that they retire, they will have a regular source of income that will keep them alive. But to retire and have a comfortable retirement or a regular source of income will depend on how you plan and what kind of processes you have put in place to ensure that you continue to get a regular income. And what that means is that every worker who wants to live long must aim at retiring early. And if they have to retire early, it means that they must save something up to retire onto. And that is what has been the problem. So a lot of Ghanaians do not take their retirement serious. People get close to retirement and they start thinking about retirement. People have 1 or 2 years to retire. They are now putting up a house in which they will live. People are now wanting to go and now engage in a business when they are retiring and what have you. In fact, in some cases, people invest in assets that are not liquid assets. And when they retire, it becomes difficult for them to get a regular source of income. And so the business school, together with our partners, the Center for Financial Literacy Education in Africa, and other partners have agreed that periodically we would embark on these kinds of exercises to bring awareness, create information available for workers on how they can plan their retirement, such that they can save towards it and make sure that when they retire, they will have something to go back to.
Now, Ghana is being selected to host this year's Global Citizens Festival to celebrate Pan-Africanism. The event, which is used to raise awareness about climate change and poverty alleviation on the continent, is aimed at attracting over 1,000 visitors into the country, including American pop star Usher and, among others, Vice President of the Global Citizens Festival, Agbo Tebi, has been speaking to Joy Business at a short ceremony to launch the event in Accra.
The global event was celebrated in South Africa last year to push for youth inclusion in change-making. According to the organizers, Ghana will be used as a platform to reach out to global authorities on the need to implement policies that will support the fight against poverty and climate change. Vice President of the Global Citizens Festival, Agbo Tebi, spoke to Joy Business at a short ceremony to launch the event in Accra.
The purpose of this campaign is to raise awareness on key advocacy opportunities across the globe. We are focused on ensuring opportunity and equitable access for women and girls, addressing the global climate crises, and dismantling systemic barriers that keep populations in poverty. This year, we are looking to invite world leaders across the Accra stage to make commitments, policy and financial commitments towards implementing the policy objectives and agenda of this campaign.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Ajman, is hopeful that the event will open up business opportunities for players in the tourism sector.
This really is quite exciting for us. The amount of people going to fly in, the amount of money that is being put into the production. So those in the service industry, the event organizers, event production crew and everything are going to benefit. So it's exciting, and I hope that it also marks a milestone for us that we can add on to some of the things that are happening within the tourism space. Already we are looking forward to December in GH, and after the Global Citizen Festival we know Afro Nation, Afrochella, Little Havana, all those things are going to happen in December. So yes, it's good for us.
The Global Citizens Festival.
The Ghana Shippers Authority and the Bank of Ghana are embarking on a nationwide sensitization program on letters of commitment for repatriation of export proceeds. The second of the series of seminars held in Kumasi saw local exporters equipped with requisite knowledge to address infractions associated with the letter of commitment. The exercise aims at building a robust export sector for a resilient economy. Here's more in the following report.
The export sector is one of the major contributors to building Ghana's resilient economy. In 2021, the sector recorded a 17% increase in proceeds, accruing more than $3 billion from non-traditional exports such as horticulture products, prepared foods and beverages, and handicrafts. But Deputy Shipper Services Manager of the Ghana Shippers Authority, John Glover, believes repatriation of proceeds on exported goods could increase astronomically if exporters are abreast of its letters of commitment. Most exporters are reported to infringe processes associated with illegal agreements affecting cross-border trade.
Following concerns expressed by some exporters on the challenges they experience with the implementation of the Bank of Ghana's LOC, it became necessary to sensitize exporters and other stakeholders on the subject and address their concerns. It is in this light that the GSA is collaborating with the BOG to facilitate this educational program. Today's seminar is the second in the series of sensitization seminars to be organized across all the regions of the country. At the heart of the authority's commitment to shipper education is the need to equip our shippers to be competitive on the international trading scene. It is in this regard that the authority is working assiduously to establish a shipper complaint and support unit.
The Bank of Ghana, since July 2016, incorporated the letters of commitment into the electronic export monitoring platform to track export proceeds. The Bank of Ghana is therefore mandated to block exporters who fail to repatriate proceeds within 60 days. Head of Shipper Services and Trade Facilitation at the GSA, Monica Josiah, says a robust export sector would contribute to stabilizing Ghana's macroeconomy.
It is important to note that it would only take a robust export sector to sustainably redeem the Ghana cedi from its woes. A robust export sector cannot happen without the repatriation of export proceeds into the country to shore up the country's foreign exchange reserves. This is the only sustainable way to build resilience in and stabilize the cedi for the macroeconomic stability that we all desire as citizens.
The exercise forms part of a series of activities by the authority in consolidating efforts to strengthen the export sector for a resilient economy. For Joy Business, Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reporting.
The Director General of SSNIT, Dr. John Oforitin-Kwai, says the prime interest of the trust is to protect their workers, especially after retirement. He says this could be well achieved if employers honor their obligations to workers in the payment of their contributions without being chased. Now, speaking in Sunyane at SSNIT's annual regional engagement with the leadership of the Trade Union Congress on the benefits of the scheme to contributors, Dr. Oforitin-Kwai also said workers should not underdeclare their salaries as it could impact negatively on them during retirement. Precious Semevo has more.
The regional engagement is aimed at equipping members of organized labor with relevant information about the insurance scheme and fostering a partnership with SSNIT in educating workers on the scheme's benefits and the need to efficiently plan for retirement. The Director General of SSNIT, Dr. John Oforitin-Kwai, said the trust should be seen as an insurance company rather than an investment company, since they insure the incomes of workers, among other benefits. He, however, wants employers to complement their interest in life after the retirement of workers by promptly paying their contributions.
All that SSNIT is interested in is that the worker is protected. So we are not interested in taking any employer and sending them to jail. I have told my staff that the first thing they have to do is to go and engage their defaulting employer and explain to the employer what even his or her employees stand to gain from SSNIT. Once the employer gets to understand that, what we find out is that many of them, their eyes get opened and then they don't look at SSNIT as a tax. They are happy to contribute to the SSNIT because the SSNIT even provides a lot more better value than even some of these provident funds. But after this engagement, if they still don't hit the call, then we have no choice but to take them to the courts.
He advised workers against under-declaring their salary as it could impact their retirement life negatively.
Whenever somebody says 35 years, think 60%. Question is 60% of what? Some of these people, through either conniving with their employers or something, maybe even be making more. So it's like you are driving a Toyota RAV4 and then you come to SSNIT and you come and insure a Picanto. When you go to pension, you do not expect that the insurance company is going to replace your Picanto with a Toyota RAV4. So don't come and underdeclare salaries to SSNIT because you think for one reason or the other you'll be better off. So SSNIT it's a very good proposition for Ghanaian workers, and I think everybody should take it seriously and join this scheme.
Over 29,000 pensioners earn less than 500 cedis monthly, a situation the Deputy General Secretary of TUC, Joshua Ansah, said requires that they impress on the government for a better salary for an enhanced pension pay.
Engagement with such a higher institution, it gives you how they operate, why certain things are happening, and why and what to do to actually enhance what you are receiving or what you are paying. We have realized that it is time for us to sit with our employers, to sit with our government, to ensure that salaries in this country for workers must be enhanced. If it is enhanced, our contribution to SSNIT will also be enhanced. Then at the end of the day, when you retire, you have an enhanced pensions. Anything short of that, you must forget about it.
The engagement was themed Understanding the Value Proposition of SSNIT Scheme, the role of organized labor as partners in promoting the scheme among workers in Ghana. Precious Semevo, Joy Business, Sunyani.
Now, 120 students have been selected for the inaugural Partner Africa project in KNUST 2022 Summer Internship Program. Now, the 3-year project was funded by a German government agency through SEQUA. It seeks to bring students and professionals within the framework of the Special Initiative on Training and Job Creation.
Since June 2021, the Partner Africa Project KNUST project team has taken significant steps with partners ACOM and AGI to ensure economic sustainability in the Ghanaian industry. The internship phase saw over 400 applications, of which 120 were shortlisted. In the next 4 weeks, shortlisted students will go through a preparatory program to prepare them for their internships. The training program consists of 12 modules, which is a blend of technical sessions on environment sustainability, as well as skills to make students integrate effectively into industry. Principal investigator Professor Jerry John Ponyo is optimistic the project mutually affects both the students and industry.
The Partner Africa project has the specific objective that has been couched as follows. 1, we seek to strengthen the organizational structure and improve upon the service offer of the Association of Ghana Industries. Secondly, we want to be able to develop and implement further training and consultation services so that the various industries are cleaner and more efficient. The third but not the least, to develop practical and pilot projects in companies to implement good practices with the hope that they will be sustainable and efficient.
Provost of the College of Engineering, Professor Mark Adom Asamoah, advised the participants to uphold environmental sustainability and be submissive to drive the maximum benefits.
This initiative is long overdue and fits perfectly into the college's vision of bridging the gap between industry and academia and making our students ready for the job market.
Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Ellis Owusu-Dabo, who spoke on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, assured the beneficiaries of the university's support during their internship period.
Feedback into developing working solutions for uptake by industry, and the benefit, guess what, is our country.
Regional Chairman of AGI Ashanti, Bono and Ahaf regions, was hopeful the collaboration would carve a succession plan for the industries.
We will collaborate fully with the school to make sure students that come out get the right training so they fit into the industries. So, immediately come out of school.
You're still watching Prime Business here on the Joy News channel. It's time for your stock market updates with Patrick Edem Agama.
For this week, the stock market recorded activities in 23 equities and 1 exchange traded fund. Total volumes traded decreased significantly by 93%, with values traded dropping by 71% to 40 million Ghana cedis. The composite index extended rebound to close at a year-to-date loss of 8.2%. The financial stock index fell to close at a year-to-date of negative 2.24% as marginal gains in Societe and Car Bank were eroded by losses recorded in GCB and ETI. MTN dominated gainers, inching up by 19.34% to close at 95 pesos per share. Societe and Car Bank gained some pesos to close at 1 Ghana cedis and 76 pesos respectively, whilst GCB and ETI lost a peso each to close at 4.99 Ghana cedis and 14 pesos respectively.
We have more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Beverly Broom. Thank you so much for your time. Up next.